Welcome to the Allen Kerr Advisors 5th Quarter Postgame Show.
Well, here we are. Allen Kerr Advisors 5th Quarter Postgame Show. The names of the players may change, the names of the coaches may change, but it appears the result in Jerry World just cannot change. Hogs drop another one, the final one of the series in Jerry World next year. I believe I heard the announcers say that it would be in Fayetteville next year. So
Fayetteville gang next year.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. MC, the Beard, Jesse Thurman, Razorback Zach, and Matt Hart on location here with us. All right, guys, what can we talk about in this close loss at Jerry World that we haven't hit on the last 2 years, or in 13 of the last 14 times that we've played this game?
Hey, I got a question, though. What's the definition of insanity? We do this every freaking year.
I got this. The definition of insanity is calling a timeout and then running a fake field goal out of that timeout.
You know, Matt and I were sitting there talking as we were watching this. And by the way, we had a huge crowd joining us for the end of that game, by the way.
Awesome.
And next year when my computer is updated, you'll be able to see it because we'll have an updated webcam. And we were talking about, Matt, you and I were talking about the there's always that moment with Arkansas where the game takes that turn where you just know you're going to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was an interception. We thought it was a fumble.
Yeah.
It was that fake field goal. And I leaned over to you and I said, that was the moment.
We did.
Yep. That was it. And you hate to think the game-defining moment is going to come that early in the game. But it did. That was a crucial point. And, like we've all said, man, we've seen this movie before. And it happened again, man. I'm almost at a loss for words at this point.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about drinking
we all are.
We all are.
I'm over here trying. I was like, but I mean,
that pretty much sums it up,
In all honesty, I mean, MC, you and I talked about it last year, and the year before. I talked about it the year before that, and it just, what can you say that just hasn't already been said? It's the same story, same chapter, different team.
We talked about this Thursday night, and we pointed out, and I think I touched on it in pregame too. When these two teams get together, there's going to be at least one moment in the game that makes one or both fan bases go WTF. We had those moments today.
Yeah.
And unfortunately they win against Arkansas. I mean, well, I say 1-1 because the fake punt, I think, probably made Aggie fans kind of want to pull their hair out. And then the fake field goal, ironic that it was both special teams plays that
hang on a second, MC. Hang on. What did she just bring you? Oh, so that is. All right. Let me just smell it. Hold on. Let me just smell it real quick. I'm not gonna drink it.
Is that the fireball?
This is the fireball one.
Okay.
Woo! You can smell the fireball. Can you taste the fireball in it?
At the end.
Really, as an aftertaste. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I didn't expect that to be a dark. That's interesting that because
we're
holding that up. It looks almost like you've got a glass of soda there.
It does.
Well, and I tell you, if you guys, if you tune in after the postgame show, Matt and I are going to go live one more time for the remainder of the night, and I will actually get his take on this beer. And did you talk to them about how it was made?
I did.
Okay. All right.
Are you expecting me to repeat it? Because it won't happen.
Hey, that's okay. I admire your honesty. No, we'll get the Brewers up here and get them to talk about it. But back to this game, guys.
Exactly.
I
That's where we're all at, Zach.
I will say this. I will say, and Matt and I were talking during halftime on the halftime show. Sam Pittman, for once, sounded fired up. He sounded aggravated. He sounded pissed when they did the sideline interview. But once again, we cannot close out. We start out great, okay? We started out off the gun. And to me, it feels like we choked another one away.
Because we did. We did. I mean, and I'll say this. For everything that went bad today, to find something positive, I don't know that the defense could have played much better than they played as a whole.
Defense is what kept that game that close.
Yes.
You know, right before we went live, Baxter Meeks of Meeks Design called me, and he's like, "I'm gonna give you my take right now." He said, "Because this is too damn much to type out in a comment." And he pointed out the fact that, you know, in his opinion, based on what he saw today, the defense is SEC caliber. The defense is there. But the offense is just so inconsistent and hit and miss. And, you know, the offensive line is throwing way too many lookout blocks right now. It's just Taylor's decision-making today was directly influenced by the lack of protection he had the whole game. When he wasn't running for his life, you know, he probably felt kind of paranoid, like he was about to get snockered, and didn't make the best decisions until, you know, he seemed to settle down there towards late in the game. Right before he fumbled, I felt like he had kind of settled in, and I was like, you know what? Okay, he's standing tall in the pocket. He's making his reads. Things were getting as stable as they had been all day from his position. And then he didn't have the presence on that blindside rush, and it got him. I mean, it's just all there is to it.
Well, and I was telling Matt, you know, I said, you know, I've never played a down of football, but I've analyzed the game since I was 16 years old. But even I know, and I'm even smart enough to know, you don't run backwards.
Oh, that drives me nuts.
And
I thought Matt Jones was the worst about it that I had ever seen, but
don't run 30 yards backwards to get 4 yards.
I'll tell you what it reminds me of, and I'm going to show my age with this. But when you would play Tecmo Bowl on the original NES Nintendo, and you had either Joe Montana or John Elway, you could take off running backwards and run backwards for 30 yards and then throw an 80-yard bomb the other way. That's what it reminds me of. The only difference is we're not getting the 80-yard bomb. But
now, I mean, and I'll ask the obvious question here. Is there anything positive outside of the defense that we can take away from this game?
The kicker seemed to have his head on straight. That was a big moment for him to hit that 45-yarder.
Devin Bell.
At least it didn't.
Yeah, Devin Bell, the punter. You got to show some love to the punter.
Oh yeah, because that was not planned. You can't tell me that was planned. That was sheer dumb luck, right, Matt?
If that was,
I would think so.
If that's not planned, then man's walking around with grapefruits, because to do that on the fly like that, and I mean it was there. He made the right decision.
Oh yeah, it was Moses. The sea parted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he made the right call, but having the second one, that's where the crucial part is. When you run a fake, you can't run a second fake.
No.
Everybody's ears are pinned, they're ready, they're waiting on it. You can't do that. Whether the first one was called or not, you can't run the second one. Especially out of a timeout. I mean, that's the first thing a coach is going to tell you.
Yeah.
Watch for the fake.
That's the piece of that aggravates me so much, is that you're running it out of a timeout, so there is no element of surprise.
Right.
And there probably wasn't going to be anyway, because Matt, like you pointed out, you've already run it. That's a one-shot deal in a game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't run a fake like that more than once in a game and expect it to work.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly believe that once again they got overzealous.
I don't know what they got, but they got me cussing them is what they got, because I
mean, you're not the only one.
I did not understand that. I didn't understand. Well, first off, we had to burn the timeout because we couldn't get up to the line before the play clock ran out. And then in addition to having to burn the timeout, we're like, okay, well, let's just go completely kamikaze with this and make this the most moronic call we can make and run a fake coming out of this timeout.
Okay, I random thing. We've got multi-view on from YouTube TV, and is that Arch Manning?
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a Manning. Look at sorry.
Yeah.
You put aluminum foil on those ears, you're getting HBO in high def. All right. I'm just saying. But hey, guys, I want to real quick. We're coming to you live, Matt and I, in a historic crossover event.
Yes.
It is ITHP. It is Hog HQ for the first time ever. And probably the last time, because Matt's over here going, I'm never going to do this again. No, I'm just kidding. No, and we're out here at the 2024 Little Oktoberfest, benefiting Casting for Recovery. And it's a great event. $45 gets you in the door. We're here. We're going to be here till 9 o'clock tonight, breaking everything down. And I, later on tonight, will be hosting it will be judging, not hosting, but judging the Steinhoist competition. Have you guys ever heard of anything like this real quick? So basically, it's a Steinhorst. It's a beer stein, right?
Mm-hmm.
Filled with water, and you have to hold your arm out as long as you can, and the last man standing wins.
Oh, wow.
But there's a men's and a women's division. So if you're not here, you need to be here. And if you're here, come by the tent and say hi. Well, tent, I say we're on the back patio of the VIP room. But yeah, $45 gets you in the door. You get a free meal. You get all the beer you can drink. And coming up right after the post-game show, we're going to be talking about some of these brews that Matt is over here. You with me still?
I am. I'm enjoying it.
But
that's your quality control man right there.
right. And I've got somebody else that's going to be testing here pretty soon too. He is out testing as we speak. So, but big thank you to Hog HQ and Matt Hart for joining us this afternoon and this evening. But guys, I don't think there's an adjective or an adverb or any describable piece of vocabulary to describe the heartbreak, the hurt. I mean, you get excited and you're in this ball game, but the problem is, you know that at some point it's going to collapse in on you.
Yeah. I mean, I sent a couple text messages after we kicked the 45-yard field goal, took the lead 17-14. The first message I sent out was, okay, how is this going to fall apart now? Because we've seen this movie so many times, we've all just come to expect that we're going to find a way to lose the game when it's close like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want to go back to that Taylor Green fumble that pretty much iced it for A&M.
Mm-hmm.
On that one, he didn't see the pressure coming on the replay. I was really paying attention to Carmona because Junior Carmona has been a good lineman all year. He forced his guy way outside. Taylor just camped in the back of the pocket there. And when a QB camps in the pocket right there as a lineman, Carmona done everything he could do. Still want to get more of a push at first contact. But that's just Arkansas is going to Arkansas.
That boils it down to everything. I mean, we're not, unfortunately, until and unless, if you want to, I don't even think that's a way to form a sentence, but I'm going to do my best here.
But
unless something changes, drastically changes, we're not going to be that consistent 6-6, 7-5, 8-4 type of team. You're going to be a sub 500 team because talent level, coaching. I mean, and again, DMAD said it, and I swear to God, I'm going to get tired of saying DMAD was right before the season's over with. But Bobby Petrino is good for one of the these one-score games. But it's the talent on the field. It's the mistakes happening on the field. Jaquindon Jackson fumbling the ball. Not a good look. Not a good look.
Yeah.
That was also on Taylor Green. MC and I talked about that before we went live. On the replay, I tried to see, I said, whose assignment was that? And in reality, that was probably Jaquindon Jackson's assignment. because Rodney Hill went out into the flat and there was no one near him. Taylor's got to pull that ball and dump it to Rodney Hill right there.
Well, and I got a text from my cousin who was at the game, and he said that he counted at least 4 or 5 plays where either Haas or Tesla was wide open down the middle of the field, and Taylor never looked that way. And in late in the game, he finally hit Tesla on a couple big ones in the soft spot of the zone. But again, it goes back to your offensive line play. Maybe he makes a better read if he has more time to sit there comfortably in the pocket and he's not running for his life.
On that Tesla reception down the middle, all I could see when that play came down was Jarius Wright catching one over the middle.
Yeah.
I was like, that's Bobby Petrino through and through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
On that pass protection, I don't know who's responsible, and DJ did teach me to look for this watching his breakdowns. Somebody's not calling out the right protection. Somebody's misidentifying protections or not calling them, because you've got good technique on the line, but there's always a free rusher because the protection's not being adjusted.
Yeah.
And it just depends on whose responsibility that is, but someone's not seeing it.
That'd be Nichols.
It may be. I don't know. I'll be anxious to see the breakdown on this one, to see, especially on the plays where we had the turnovers. I think we had 3 turnovers on the day. I want to see what happened on the last fumble by Taylor that basically sealed it. I want to get DJ or Grant Cook's take on the one that you and I were talking about, Jesse, where the exchange failed, and see what they have to say about that one. But hey, I can see that a lot of our fans are in the live fan feedback have a lot to say. Jesse, you want to jump into some of those real quick?
Let me throw this out there real quick, and then we'll jump in there.
Okay.
How does Nichols keep getting false starts?
Oh, my God.
How do you get a false start as a center? Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. How? Somebody explain to me how. As a center, your whole job is to control. It's to time it. How do you get a false start? It is not that hard.
Honestly, it is harder to stay still, to know your assignment, to watch the defense move, and to remember a snap count, because it's constantly, usually it's changing. You want to keep the defense off. And it's a lot to think about within 3 to 5 seconds before the play happens. There's a lot going on. So I get it, but it has to be corrected, or somebody, you have to find somebody that can do it.
I don't, like I said, we've got multi-view going. I don't know if you saw it, but we have a Grant Morgan sighting at the Illinois Penn State game.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Carolyn in the Cam Productions live fan feedback, she's right. Illinois is giving Penn State everything they can handle.
Somebody seemed to have predicted that.
All right, I'm hiring a new executive producer for Thursday night. Anybody want to do it?
Let's jump into these comments.
You know all the nice stuff.
That's a good time to segue.
You know all the nice things I said about Jesse during the halftime show. I take that all back. I take it all back.
I think Dennis Gamble's had enough here. What do you think, Jesse?
Dennis Gamble seems to be fed up. Can we take a collection to rent Sam a U-Haul?
It's going to take more than a U-Haul, buddy.
And the thing is, with revenue sharing coming,
there's going to be less money to spend.
Want to spend the money.
Real quick, guys, while
It's
we're going through these
entertaining
comments,
football.
I'm looking at the stats here. Penalties is what killed us. 10 penalties for Arkansas, 75 yards. 7 penalties on A&M for 63 yards. A&M pretty much, we gave the game to A&M. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Plain and 10 penalties.
And
10.
timely too.
10. I don't. By the way, guys, the other game that we should have talked about on Thursday, and this should have been our bonus game, UCF Colorado.
Oh,
I did not know. I did not see that one.
Coach Prime and the boys put a man-sized beatdown on Gus and KJ. Did not see that one coming.
KJ looked great.
KJ had one play that I saw where he basically, he literally trucked the D-back to get into the end zone, and that was the only play of his I saw. But he is
So I have to ask before we get to this next comment by Brad. Jesse skipped that one. He's Air Force. He doesn't.
I am not skipping Air Force.
I'm going to end up needing a new producer before the end of the night. I just know it. I just know it. Okay? So one of us, I don't know who it was, but I think it was MC that made this comment in our team chat. And I'm going to go ahead and ask the blatant question. It may be a stupid question, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Is Taylor Green the answer? Do we stick with Taylor Green, or do you go to Malachi Singleton?
you can't throw Malachi out there at the Tennessee game. You can't.
No.
Unless Taylor goes down with an injury, because there's way higher potential of something negative coming out of that than something positive. I've not been sold on Taylor the whole year. If you want to go back and look at our preseason show, my hot take was that by the off week, either by injury or bad play or whatever, that Malachi would be the starter when we come back off the off week. So
Thursday night, by the way, I'll go ahead and say this. Jesse's going to come through the screen and kind of strangle me if I don't do this. But Brad Staten says, we suck again. Here's the problem, Brad. Here's the problem. In order to suck again, we have to stop sucking. And
yeah,
I rest my case. There's another stat here, guys, that I want to point out. You know, we touted Thursday night that Arkansas is one of the top offenses in the country, correct?
Was
250 yards on the ground per game.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want to take a guess at how many yards on the ground we had today?
I don't think we had 100, did we?
We had dead on 100 yards.
Okay.
Now, on the flip side of that, A&M only had 137.
And the majority of that came on their last touchdown drive.
Yep.
Up to
Yes.
that point,
Right.
up to that point, we had completely neutralized their ground game.
Yeah, and the running game for both teams, the running game was about even. 30 rushing attempts for us, 36 for A&M. 3.5-ish yards a game for us, 4 yards for A&M. I mean, it's kind of balanced as far as the running game goes. It's just it's the penalties killed us, the mistakes killed us. We have said this time and time and time again.
Yeah.
It's the same, like I said, it's the same story, different verse.
Well,
All
and
right, let's get back in these comments.
Go ahead.
We're going
Sorry,
to end
Jesse.
up talking all night about the same thing, but let's get the fans their moment in the spotlight. John
For those that don't
Caldwell,
know.
I can't. I just can't.
John, I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
Sponsor Baxter Makes. We are just missing talent.
Definitely on the offensive line. We're definitely missing some there, and I think some skill positions. I think we're, we could use more weapons at wideout, because when Armstrong got dinged up, man, we were struggling there for a bit to find somebody to throw the ball to.
Here's the thing, guys. Wasn't Sam Pittman working with the offensive line this offseason?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was supposed to be better, and we bring in a new offensive line coach. And again, I swear to God, I'm going to get tired of saying this. Maybe D-Mad was right. It wasn't the coach. It was the talent. Maybe.
I
I'm
don't know.
just
I don't
saying,
know, man.
nobody
Cody Kennedy was
nobody. I was going to say, nobody come after me for defending Cody
Yeah.
Kennedy,
He
but
was
you have to
tough,
look at it. You have to look at the bigger picture here.
Right.
Well, I know
I think we-
Kudus being out is killing us.
Yeah.
Absolutely killing us.
Yeah, it is. And we had, we were talking about the center earlier with the false starts. He's very inconsistent on his snaps too, because Taylor was constantly reaching to the left or to the right or low to secure the snap. And while that doesn't seem like something big on the surface, that half second to a second he's got to have to secure the snap, throws everything out of whack, especially in a Petrino offense when timing, it's all based on timing. And to lose that second to a second half, you can't get that back. So you're behind the eight ball to start with.
I mean, look at A&M. Their snaps were in the dirt all day, and we were in the backfield to meet their running back every time.
Yeah.
That snap makes all the difference in the world. John Caldwell coming back in. Isn't it the strength and conditioning coach's job to make sure they're strengthened and conditioned? Isn't Pittman supposed to be an offensive line guru? We can't ever get no consistency. The fans are getting really tired. Really tired. When is enough enough? When someone forks over the money.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I don't know if you can see this on the live stream, but I'm about to be drunk with power. Not only did they give me the microphone, I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can. Not only did they give me the microphone for the whole venue, they just laid this on my table.
Oh, you got a Jimmy Hart megaphone. Awesome.
I am about to be drunk with power. I don't know what to do with myself. Wait, bring it back. I'm just kidding here.
Dan Yoakum. All of these penalties are due to lack of discipline, which falls on the shoulders of the head coach. A Nick Saban coach team would never commit those. And why did they let so much time run off just before the 2-minute warning with 80 yards to go? I've seen some Saban teams with that many penalties, but it didn't happen more than 1 week.
Yeah, it might happen once a season, and it got corrected.
Hey, fellas, I got to run. I've got to get ready for the Beerstein competition.
All right, go do your thing, man. The lack of discipline also shows up with the time management, and this is not the first time that we've had problems with clock management since Pittman's been here. All right, Jesse, I got an update real quick. Alabama strikes first in the big showdown, and they go up 7-0. Looks like Jalen Milroe just kind of strolled in on a designed quarterback keeper, and he made it look about as easy gets. I mean, it was right there for the taking.
That 17-year-old receiver they got is scary.
Oh, that dude is a cheat code. The fact that he's 17 is just not even fair. I mean,
so they're going to have him for 4 years before he can go to the league. Because don't you have to be 21 to go to the league?
21.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
Or he's going to transfer for a much, much larger NIL payout. He will be the next Shadur Sanders in NIL money.
Yeah.
What else we got on the feedback, Jesse?
Let's get Carolyn Williams in here. We have to close, and we don't ever. And I really question the play calling. You beat a blitz with the run.
I was scratching my head a couple times at the lack of runs, and I don't really know. I don't know why we didn't run the ball more. I mean, I'm sure Bobby's got his reasons. I know he does, but I kind of agree with Carolyn on that a little bit.
I wasn't a big fan of the pitches we kept throwing. Those pitch it back 2 or 3 yards to Johnson, trying to get him ahead of steam. But by that point, the blitzer was already in the backfield.
Yep.
Right.
What do you got, Matt?
Well, I mean, yes, most of our biggest plays seem to be out on the edges. Their defensive line was pretty stout, and we kind of knew that they would be kind of good up front, just given Elko and his pedigree. So we knew it would be a defensive game. That's what I told Zach, actually, right before the game. I had predicted it would be like 34-27, something like that. And right when the game started, I looked at him and I said, this is going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling. And it turned out to be that. And, and like I said, it's rinse, repeat. Every year we got a special teams play that either kills us or helps us that we look back on, like Sam Irwin Hill. And then we turn around and had the same thing happen today, except in both fashions. You have one that bites you in the butt, and the other one that helps you get the touchdown. Actually, it just it's frustrating seeing the same thing over and over again. And let's be honest, this is over different regimes. This isn't the same, one. Because we saw it with Chad, we saw it with Brett.
Yeah.
We didn't see it with Bobby, but that was a different time too. We had different play. And as far as Taylor goes, he's a work in progress. From what I've been told, as far as Singleton goes, I feel like it's basically the Criswell situation, where you have a small sample size and looks pretty good at first, and then the more you see, it's not as impressive.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm being told, basically from the Singleton side. But Taylor, he's a great runner. He helped us out a lot with his legs. But you're a quarterback. You're not a running back. The job of the quarterback is to pass the ball. I've always had a theory: if you're better at running than passing, then you shouldn't be a quarterback.
Right.
Because you're just throwing the ball. You're not actually passing it with, touch and precision and stuff like that. You're just trying to get it there.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see with Malachi, if the coaching staff holds together, and I'm not lobbying for Sam Pittman to keep his job, but if what we all expect to happens, and Sam Pittman's the coach next year, and we keep Bobby Petrino on as OC, Malachi is going to have a whole year to soak that playbook in, and he's going to be dangerous next year. I know we may still have Talon as well, but it will be very dangerous with Malachi just sitting in and taking in all of Bobby's knowledge.
Don't forget about KJ.
That's true.
Exactly, Justin. We got KJ Jackson sitting back there as well, and he was a beast in high school.
Well, and I think one of the reasons that we're seeing a groundswelling of support for Singleton is, and again, we go back to the Bobby Petrino factor, because in the heyday, you had Ryan Mallett as your starter, you had Tyler Wilson as your backup, who arguably was, almost just as talented as Mallett. They just had a different talent set of skills. And we all remember that game down at Auburn where Mallett got hurt, Wilson come in and was just in the zone, on fire, whatever you want to call it. And so I think we all kind of get in the back of our head, okay, well, if Bobby prepared that backup that way, the other backups are going to be prepared just as well. And this is no disrespect to Malachi Singleton, but he's not a Tyler Wilson. He's not going to come in and be able to take over the game and you don't miss a beat like what happened in that game down at Auburn. But, the backup quarterback is always one of the most popular guys on the team, because everybody's, there's that mystery about him. There's that, well, what if he comes in and does this, and so everybody clamors for the backup until the backup comes in, and then you realize, oh, damn, maybe our offensive coordinator was right.
Why is he the backup in the first?
Hey, let me jump in here real quick.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
Justin,
Yeah.
Justin, let's leave the iPad muted. Your headset's connected to a different one. Go ahead and talk and make sure I can hear you still.
Can you hear me now?
You coming through?
We're not getting his headset. We'll have to check on that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get a break, see if they can grab Zach and have him take a look at that real quick. We'll get that picked up so we don't have all the background noise. But we'll be right back with more of the Allen Kerr Advisors fifth quarter postgame show right after this.
Hi, I'm Allen Kerr, president and founder of Allen Kerr Advisors. As an advisor group, our goal is to ensure a positive reputation with government agencies and legislative bodies to provide timely and proactive solutions for all of our clients. We have successfully represented our clients with targeted campaigns that get results. Our focus is on the insurance industry, but we're experts in other areas of business as well. We're a full-service, nationwide advisor group with legislative and regulatory relationship networks in all 50 states. We can assist companies in getting their first certificate of operation and then help them expand nationwide. We can also help businesses create and launch new products, setting up standard risk pools, and creating captive entities. So, if you're planning a company expansion, if you plan to create a captive, if you have a dispute with a regulator, or if you need an expert witness to win your case, if you're planning a merger or acquisition, or if you just need legislative guidance or access, your next call should be to Allen Kerr Advisors. Give us a call or click that contact button on the top of our website at allenkerradvisors.com. AT&T-Stadium.com.
All right, welcome back into the Allen Kerr Advisors fifth quarter post-game show of Inside the Hog Pen. Your boy MC, Jesse the Beard Thurman, Matt Hart of Hog HQ. Well, it's easy for me to say. It's like I've been into the Fireball beer or something. And Justin Garrison joining us in place of Zach while Zach's out doing his
Can you hear me
MC
now?
duties.
Oh,
Hey, I
yes,
think we
we're
got you now.
golden. There we go.
Yeah, good to
There
go.
we go.
Apple to the
Okay,
rescue,
back
huh?
to the thing. Back to the. Yeah, right. Apple to the rescue with Apple stuff. You got to mix apple with apple. Taylor's going to be our quarterback as long as he's at Arkansas. We need to stop worrying
I
about
agree.
Singleton. I get it. He looks good, but he's in the offense as a backup for a reason. Taylor, they changed how he threw. You throw a sidearm to throw over the top. He's not a pocket quarterback yet. That will come next year. That's our problem. We got to suck it up. We're going to win 6, 7, maybe 8 games if we can keep going. We should have won today. That's just depressing.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
before you
upsetting.
jumped on with us, we were talking about the fact that, you know, to get to 6, man, it sure looks a lot brighter if you get Oklahoma State or today. You know, you really needed a split on those two. So the road gets tough, but it's not
Auburn-
impossible.
Auburn
but, you know,
Auburn last week helped.
yeah, that did. That helped.
I
You know,
had that as a loss on the schedule.
yeah, and I hate to keep
I
bringing
originally
up.
did too.
I hate to keep bringing up the Oklahoma State game, but to draw a similarity to today, you had it right there. You had it right there, and you let it slip through your hands. You know, and that's as much as we've seen that over the past, you know, well, pretty much the whole time that Sam's been here. I mean, it just gets harder and harder to swallow that pill, you know, of giving games away that you know deep down you should have won.
Absolutely.
All right, Jesse. What I went through start a couple comments for you there while we were in the break.
I had one more I wanted to hit, and then we're going to
Okay.
hit the ones you got.
Okay.
Dennis Gamble. Arkansas digs a deeper hole each year. Mediocre coaches attract mediocre players. Until Arkansas gets a 5-star head coach, Arkansas will never get 5-star players. I got to disagree
one
there.
now.
In the NIL era, we
So
got some
tired of that.
5-stars.
We've got some dudes, man. We've got some dudes. We just don't. I think we don't have enough dudes.
I think you're.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
we have the starters. We don't have backups.
The problem we
On
have.
defense.
I mean, and you look at why we have some of those dudes, as I call them, that we have, because you have places like Georgia that are so deep with 5-stars that can't see the field. They come here. Xavier Story came here, started day one. Same thing was is it Singleton or Singletary? I can't remember.
James Singletary.
Yeah, Singletary.
Danico Slaughter.
Danico Slaughter. Those guys, they couldn't see the field, and they're coming here. They're starting day one, and the drop off from our 1s to our 2s, and more so from our 2s to our 3s, is the difference in some of these games, because these guys are not Ironmen. They have to have a few plays off here and there, and so it's usually in those few plays off where something bad happens when you've got that backup in that he's giving it all he's got. He just doesn't quite have the talent of the guy that's in front of him. That's why he's a backup.
I mean, go back 1 or 2 years, and the name is slipping me, but the superstar linebacker that never saw the field at Alabama that came to Arkansas.
Drew Sanders.
Sanders. Thank
Drew
you.
Sanders, yes, thank you.
Yes.
We
but
can get
Arkansas
the
was
dudes.
SEC.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he came here. He came here and played himself into being a draft pick because he couldn't get on the field at Alabama, and he come here, had a great year, and ended up, I think Denver was who drafted him. And as far as I know, he's still collecting a check in the league. So, that says a lot right there. But all right, Jesse, back to
All
the
right, we
feedback.
got Tommy Adkins. This game is not on green. He had no protection up front. This game was lost because of the O-line and O-line coach.
Protection faltered today. It really faltered. Talon was, and I noticed in the second half when we come back after halftime, the first few pass plays we had were like off bootlegs, and we're moving the pocket, trying to get him extra time to where he could make a better read and make a decision on the fly, because they were getting such pressure on us. And you've got that. You've got how many false start penalties did we have today on the offensive line? I know of at least 3.
I was gonna say 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean,
we talked about it in the Harris Made Chef Services tailgate show. Texas A&M front 4 is dangerous, and their front 4 proved why they are elite SEC defensive linemen.
Yep.
All right, we'll jump over to Dan Yoakum. A lot of those sacks are on Green because he needs to learn to step up in the pocket. Also, I said a couple of weeks ago, he's better off rolling out to the right or to the left.
So on his second statement there about he's better when he rolls out, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but during the game, ESPN actually put up a side-by-side comparison of Talon's stats of when he stays in the pocket versus when he is out of the pocket and kind of on the run with his passing stats, and it was like his completion rate was mid-60s when he's on the run, and it was right at 50% when he stays in the pocket. And that's just a product of Matt, like what you were talking about. They've changed some things up with his game. He's not a statue drop back quarterback. He's an improviser. He is a, make adjustments on the fly rather than making progressions and reading through it.
Yeah. He's a run first with a pass second quarterback.
Yeah, he is. He's cut from the same mold.
For now,
I'm not saying
for now.
Yeah, for now. I'm not saying he is Matt Jones.
Don't forget.
But he's cut from that mold that Matt Jones is. He's more of an athlete playing quarterback. Is that fair?
He has the Matt Jones ability.
Yes.
I believe he has the Matt Jones ability, but he also has the want to learn to throw like a mallet. That's why he came to Arkansas. That's why Petrino went and got him. Hey, you have that part. Now learn this part, which means we're going to have him this year, next year, as long as we can have him, because he knows the longer I stay with Petrino, I can run for days. I'm 6'6". I can run. Yeah. I got to learn to pass, or everyone's going to eat me up. And the SEC is going to eat him up this year at times because he's learning how to pass. We got to live with it. Yeah. He'll learn. I have faith. I just say I have faith. I have faith in the Bobby Petrino offensive style of teaching a quarterback how to throw.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, that.
I had to throw that one in there because that is gold right there. It doesn't get much better than that, Justin. I mean, you hit the nail on the head.
I mean, you came in bringing the fire right away, man.
That's how I feel. That's the argument I've always had. I like Sam Pittman. A head coach doesn't have to be that arrogant asshole of the team. Let Bobby do his offense. When the offense goes bad, you take it as a head coach, which Pittman does a great job of. But in the end, you look at Bobby and you're like, what are you doing? You saw Bobby on the sideline. Every interception that Taylor threw, it was the immediate, what the hell are you doing? You read his lips. What the hell? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
And he has to answer the man right then. Tell him what you're thinking, and then they go talk about it. Give the man time. He's getting better. But he's got to remember, pass, then run. He fumbled the ball on the snap. He's getting ready to run to do an option before you take the pass. What the hell are you doing? Do the first step first, and then we go from there. That's what Bobby's telling him. He's learning. It's a time. Bobby doesn't have his players yet. He's getting transfers in.
Right.
Singleton knows he's not going anywhere. Don't think he's going to transfer because he's not playing, because he sees what Bobby's doing with Taylor. Okay, he's developing him. Now I can develop too. He's going to leave before me. I get 2 years. I've been in the offense. I've known the offense. It's my job. Tyler Wilson, wait your turn, and we'll get it. That's what Bobby brings. That's why Sam went and got Bobby. Hey, you know everything, but just mess with the offense. I'll worry about everything else. Just do your baby. That's what Bobby's baby's always been, offense. It's great. Bring him back to Arkansas. No females on the staff that he's going to be around, just in case. We'll go ahead and say that. We got to say that. Everybody,
you have to throw that out there.
So I'm going to go ahead and push that button. You got to throw that out there. Notice on the sideline, you never see a female near Bobby, not even a water girl. It's a water boy.
Right.
Arkansas got smart. We know. We want his offense, nothing else. So we're going to keep his offense. We're going to give him time. It's okay. If we get to a subpar bowl game this year, that's still a good year. Look at last year. You know, we could be,
hey,
just smile.
I'll take a December trip to Birmingham if it's a bowl game. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's better than sitting at home for the holidays.
And hey, that's
Thank
what
you.
19 extra practices.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a whole other month or 2 months of practices. You're on campus. That's more work for everybody.
It's more opportunity
and you got to think
for.
we're going to have a couple.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Justin. I just got it up here for when you finish.
We're going to get a couple of draft picks out of this class. Landon Jackson will get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get running back Jackson will get drafted. Armstrong's going to get drafted. I mean, they're all transfers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get more. Georgia and Alabama are slobber knocking right now, and there's 5 or 6 players that aren't playing this game right now. Guess what Bobby and that defense is going to do? So Sam's going to go do. Hey, come here. Look what I did last year with Bama's players. He was a first-team All-SEC linebacker. He didn't see Bama's field. Go come. Give Sam time. Football's a process.
I feel like we might need to pass the offering plate after the way Justin's coming here preaching, man. He's laying it down. He's laying it down for us.
Sorry, I always watch, and I'm never able to be able to.
Hey, it's all good, man. So. That's all good. I mean, that's a fresh take, and I can't argue with anything you're putting out there. So, all right, what do we got left, Jesse?
William Tyler Boyce says Green isn't the answer. I think we've just kind of shot a hole
we just
on that
addressed
one.
that.
No offense to William, but
stop. Yeah, I love it. I get the idea. There's a kid from Boise State going to the SEC.
Yeah.
Why were you at Boise State? Because no one in the SEC knew how to fix your throwing. Bobby went over there and said, hey, I think I can fix that throwing motion. They said it in, I believe, it was Oklahoma State game. They focused on it, on how he went from sidearm to over the top. I play baseball. I'm a baseball person. My kids play baseball. Changing of a throwing motion is like a 6 to 9 month process to get him to do it.
Yeah,
the deep pass he underthrew to Tesla last week was a sidearm pass. Excuse me, sorry. If that was not a sidearm pass, he doesn't have to jump back to catch it. You have more strength going over the top. He'll learn, and when he learns, you're still going to have Tesla here. You're still going to have Isaiah Satania here, and you're going to get more transfers, so you're going to have players to go do it because they're going to see that coming. They see it coming now.
Well, and I think some of the thing with Green is that he's kind of being held to an unfair perspective, I guess, for lack of a better term, because everybody sees him coming in and working in Bobby's offense. And Grant Cook talked about this on the breakdown that he did with DJ Williams on the 4th and 5. He's like, he is freshman level, maybe sophomore level in Bobby's offense, and we're expecting him to do graduate school level stuff in that offense, and he's just not there yet.
He's not Ryan Mallett yet.
Yeah.
He might get
and
there.
Grant and DJ
but Ryan Mallett came here.
Mm-hmm. Well, and don't forget, Mallett had a whole year redshirt to study this offense and learn it inside out, upside down, backwards, forwards. Mm-hmm. And even then, his first year, he still had moments in that 2009 season that you were like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
It's the Bobby offense. Bobby offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They said when you get up there and you truly learn Bobby's offense, when you set foot on the field, you don't have to think. You look, you see, you react.
Mm-hmm.
The problem they're having right now is they're still that freshman or sophomore level, and they're having to think about everything you do. And like Grant said, on the offensive line, there's no time to think. If you think, you're beat. Yep. And we're seeing it with Blackstock on the end. Blackstock's got to get vertical. Yeah, it's dangerous, but if he's going horizontal and that defensive end shooting right past him, he's got to go vertical and slow him down a little bit.
Yep.
Got a Kerry story. Our O-line sucks in pass pro. Bobby and Sam are not a good mesh. Sam is a ground and pound, eat clock guy. Bobby is a power spread, oil and water. Bobby can work with anybody. Bobby went and survived a year under Jimbo Fisher. So Bobby could work with anybody.
Right. Right.
Bobby's going to take the talent he has in front of him. He's going to analyze their game, and then he is going to mold his offense to their talents. He's not Dan Enos.
He's not Kendall,
going to say,
Kendall
well, I've
Briles
got
either.
a spread team, so we're going to ground and pound 3 yards in a cloud of dust. He's going to do what the talent allows him to do.
Well, and
It's
that was,
complex. It's
you know,
NFL
when he was
stuff.
hired
They gotta
back,
learn.
when Bobby was hired back, after the shock wore off, I remember several of us, Zach and myself and a few other people, we were having the discussion that the thing we were the most excited about is that he was not going to force the square peg into the round hole. Like Jesse just said, he was going to see the cards he was dealt, and that's what he was going to play. He was going to play to his strengths, you know, back to the FTS, feed the studs. Okay, all of my studs are here. So guess what? This is what's going to dominate our offensive scheme because this is where my studs are. So it's like you said, man, it's a work in progress. Okay, ADHD kicking in for a second. Bama has gone up 14-0 on Georgia. 3:46 left,
But just got the
and
ball back.
looks like they just forced another turnover, I believe. I'm waiting on the replay to hit here. They're breaking it down. It looks like maybe an interception.
He
Oh,
interception.
wow.
He just threw it
Yeah.
directly to the cornerback. I mean, the cornerback read it and knew what was going on
Yeah.
and just caught the ball. That was a great play. Oh God,
That
Georgia's
was.
in deep
I mean,
trouble.
Now Bama's got a short
Georgia.
field again. Wow.
It's gonna be Bama
This
and
game is
Texas.
not going like I expected. I thought
Yeah.
Bama might win it, but I didn't expect them to come out and dominate
I
like
thought
this
Georgia
earlier.
would fight.
I did too, and I was talking with a buddy of mine that's a high school coach before the Arkansas game, and I asked him, I was like, all right, who you got, Bama, Georgia? And originally he said Georgia, and then about 15 or 20 minutes later, he come back to me, he's like, no, I'm going to change my pick, man. He's like, I don't think Georgia has the weapons in the deep threat. They didn't have anybody to replace Brock Bowers. They don't have that deep threat to keep Alabama's offense honest, and my man Jeremy's looking like a prophet right now, man. He's he's kind of predicting the future a little bit because Bama has come out on fire early in this game.
Well, I woke up this morning and I knew it, and I was like, "Oh, roll Tide. They're in Tuscaloosa too." Yep. Nope. Nope,
Milroe
that's
is
not
just
He's got-
Milroe's just doing his thing right now.
dominating.
So,
He's having fun.
all right, Jesse, do we have a few more comments, or are we about ready to put a bow on it?
Let's go ahead and get a few more comments, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
We got Brandon Laughlin. If we go by one possession games every year, Arkansas would be in the playoffs the past few years. Got to close games out. For the most part, minus about 2 games last year, this team has always been competitive under Sam Pittman.
Yeah.
We got blew out by Auburn. We got blew out by Missouri. Outside of those games, there hadn't been a lot of blowouts under Pittman. We
Well,
just
and
hadn't closed it out.
You could make the argument in both
They
of those
fight.
two games. Yeah, you could make the argument in both those two games you just mentioned that the team let go of the rope maybe early third quarter in both of those games. And we got yet another Alabama touchdown, so it's about to be 21-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Social media guy Loki coming
Let's-
in. Justin is dead on, and I love his mindset. Just remember that mentality when basketball comes.
I will.
The
because
mentality
John
when
Calipari-
basketball
I
comes
mean,
is Elite Eight or bust.
we're gonna wait. We're gonna. Oh, it's Final Four plus when you bring in Tyson money and Walmart money. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to spend money to go watch y'all play or get out. Okay, Calipari comes here to buy us a championship, so you got 2 years with
And
Tyson
you know what?
and Walmart behind you to go get me a go get me a ring. I want a ring. I don't care.
Those
How you get it?
those purchased championships hang the banner the same way
Yeah.
as the ones that are
Yeah.
not purchased.
I'll
So-
take sanctions. I don't care.
Yeah,
You can take
yeah.
sanctions in football,
If you
basketball,
would- if you-
baseball, win something.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. You think anybody at Memphis gives a damn because they don't have that Final Four banner hanging that Calipari took them to?
No.
Or you think the Fab
No.
Five at
No.
Michigan, they don't care that the banner's not there. You can't take the memories away that the Fab Five put up. I mean,
30
Come on.
for 30 is still going to make you money in 20 years for cheating
There you go.
now. So cheat it
Yeah.
and give me a win.
Yeah.
Do it in baseball, Van Horn. Come on, man. Let's go. Go ahead and just go get that crap.
Yeah.
Catch the damn
Blake
Blake
ball.
is close.
Hill
Don't piss me off.
looking.
Yeah.
One thing
I'm
I
with
will
you.
say that's hurting our offense though is Luke Hazen's back. If y'all paid attention during the game, he was grabbing
Yeah,
at
you
it
called that
again.
one.
Yeah, and I had a feeling that it's just one of those that they're not wanting to let out, and it's killing us because his hands are about as sure as they get on the team, maybe
Yeah.
other than Armstrong, or I'm sorry, Tesla. But it just he opens up the middle of the field.
Mhm.
It's really being missed right now at this
Yes.
time. And we got to find somebody to replace it. Tesla was a bright spot, at least that he had that long, was a 75-yard touchdown, but he only had 2 catches.
Yeah, I only remember
do more than that.
one or two more after the big touchdown.
Yeah,
Not
He had
even a
2
lot of
on that
looks
final
either. That's the
drive.
weird part.
Yeah, he
Right.
didn't get a lot of looks, but on that, I mean, Matt, as soon as I saw Haas make that short catch, he, like you said in the pregame show, man, he immediately reached for his back, and I mean, he looked like an old man trying to hobble off the field, you know.
it's that running. I'm telling you, that running is
Yeah.
different than just pushing and leaning on somebody.
Yeah.
What's
Yep,
up,
makes a
fellas?
difference. Man, you've been replaced,
There he
dude.
is.
I know.
Justin, we're getting ready to pass the offering plate, man. He came in here preaching and hellfire and brimstone and
I was
laying
worried
it
about
out.
that. I was worried about that.
He put
I gave
the
her
blueprint
everything I
out
give
there,
you on the
man.
side.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
So,
But
Zach,
hey,
you made it back just in time. We're just about to put a wrap on everything here for the fifth
I'll
quarter
tell
show.
you guys, I'm a little bit soaked. That was the wildest beer stein competition I've ever been a part of.
Notice they put you in charge of judging the one thing that you really couldn't screw up, Zach.
Don't trust me. Don't put it past me. All right. Don't put it
Last
past me.
one holding the beer stein up wins. I mean, that's easy.
It was a great competition. The best people won. End of story. That's all I'm gonna say.
So nobody Arkansas in the beer stein competition.
Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. The defending champion from last year, who had 19 minutes, he held this beer stein out straight. 19 minutes, got
Wow.
beat tonight.
Oh, we had
Wow.
upset special, huh?
Oh yeah, talk about upset special. Look at the Alabama Georgia game.
Yeah.
21-0.
Yeah, we were touching on that just a couple minutes ago. Alabama's come out on fire, man. They've opened up the whole can early. So, all right, as we're getting ready to wrap this up, I want to say a special shout out to Justin for stepping in there and filling the role for Zach. Justin, appreciate you jumping in, buddy. And all right, guys.
One more comment I got to
Yeah,
put up and
bring
see. This is going to be a fun household here in about 2 months.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Libby Philpott, one sport at a time. I'm Arkansas and my husband is Kentucky. This has been a tough transition.
Ooh.
Hey, MC, before we put a wrap bow on this,
Yeah.
Let's plug this, Matt. If you guys want to continue the conversation immediately following this broadcast, Matt and I will be live once again from the Little Oktoberfest, breaking it all down, talking about it, and just we'll talk brews, we'll talk football, and we'll talk the epic collapse in Dallas.
Of which year? You have to be specific because
Yes. So make sure you guys tune into that. And like I said, if you're not watching us from the Inside the Hook Pin Facebook page, make sure you follow us because that live will be happening just immediately following the conclusion of this broadcast.
all right.
I want to give a special shout out. Thank Justin for stepping in again.
Absolutely.
Matt, we appreciate you coming on. Loved having your
Yeah, man.
insight and your knowledge on here with us.
Appreciate you having me.
We got to do a few more of these. We definitely got to do one come baseball or basketball season and baseball season.
The time that I take time off, you're going to do one with I have to have a conference with my staff when I get back tomorrow. I think I smell a mutiny. Can you smell it? This is not fair.
This is not Bobby Petrino, Tommy Tuberville top mutiny deal, okay? That
I don't believe that for a second. I know you two. You two are conspiring.
no, we would never do such a thing.
Horse.
Hey, this is what happened when you
Never
give
mind.
us our own show.
Yeah, there you go, man. You
So
give
that
us
was
our
the
own
mistake
show
I
and,
made.
just
So
inflate
that was
inflate the head here.
well.
So-
And we
both of
hadn't
you-
really announced that yet. So, surprise announcement on the Allen Kerr fifth quarter postgame show. We've met as a team, and Zach nominated MC and myself to take over all tailgate and fifth quarter postgame shows for the rest of football season.
Don't be
Maybe
so
good, it may be
coy.
bad. I don't know.
Don't be so coy, because I will pop in, and I will always be watching.
Hey, speaking of popping in, Thursday night we were talking about my shirt that I had from Meeks Design,
Right.
and Michaela and Baxter's son Tyson, kind of got his feelings hurt a little bit because we weren't talking about the custom soaps that they made. I got to put this up here real quick.
Bro.
So I think we may be the only podcast in the state of Arkansas that has our own custom logoed soap.
Yes.
So
I'm
this is
okay with that.
available through Meeks Design. If you want some inside the hog pen soap, I'm gonna try to smell it, see if I can describe the smell.
Does it smell clean?
It smells very clean. Obviously, there was we might have could have used some of this down in Dallas because it kind of smells like victory. So I'm not, it's
Is that hey? I wonder if Baxter can name that soap scent "Victory" by Inside the Hog Pen. What is it like?
Ooh.
Like the
the
Dior.
the fancy
Only available at
perfumes. Yeah,
only
my God.
available at Macy's.
There we
We
go.
need to send a bunch to
Savage. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
need to send a bunch to the football locker room, see if the victory scent will rub off on their mindset.
Hey, that
Oh,
reminds
man.
me. Have y'all ever noticed how on Hogs Plus they show the post game of the games we win,
Yeah.
but they don't show the games we lose?
Yeah.
That's why I unsubscribed, to be honest with you. I wanted to see the real stuff. I didn't want to see the propaganda,
I
the hype
don't-
machine.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the sunshine pump. I want to see them. I want to see what happens in that locker room.
Well, if we got
After
to
loss.
come out here,
That's what I was expecting to see, and I
Yeah.
didn't get it.
if we got to come out here and talk about the bad along with the good, then we ought to be able to see the bad along with the good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, as my favorite radio host call it, propaganda plus.
Well, and
It would be a series of beeps, I have a feeling, and it would be hard for some fans to understand that don't speak fluent sailor.
that's an elegant way to put it.
That is
Jesse. That is an
yeah.
elegant
That's
way
a
to put
very
it.
creative way to put that, Jesse. I don't know
But-
that we can top that.
Right. But hey, by the way, like I said, make sure you guys stay tuned to Inside the Hog Pen because our live coverage continues right after the Allen Kerr Advisors fifth quarter postgame show from the 2024 Little Oktoberfest.
All right, let's close it out with final
Yep.
thoughts. Matt, we'll let the guests go first. Final thoughts on today in general.
Oh, sorry.
Wow. Same old. Got to do better.
Yeah.
There was some improvement. I think we may underestimate a little bit of their defensive front and how strong they may be, but it's another tough loss, and you can't let them pile up. The leash is running real short with realistic games that we think we can really win.
Mhm.
I'm not saying we can't win all of them, but it's just not. It's not a good time right now. Seeing us
Right.
go down again in the same fashion with all the same talking points. So we just didn't have Superman this year. That was the only difference really this year than last.
I got nothing. Just basketball will save us. Isn't that what we always say?
Yeah,
And
until
then baseball.
yeah, and
and
then it's
then
baseball.
And then it's football again. And
Yeah,
it's a
and then
vicious
it's-
cycle,
yeah.
the life of a Razorback fan.
After
That is
that-
why I always say, make sure your heart is healthy enough for Razorback sports. Okay, I say it every year, and this is
I know.
exactly why.
I don't know how many of us Razorback fans have hearts left because they have been crushed so many times and pureed and just completely annihilated.
Here's a thought. You ever look at Razorbacks? And again, I promise you guys, I'm completely sober. I'm just having a lot of fun out here. You ever look at Razorback football as like that one ex-girlfriend that just broke your heart over and over and over again, and you keep going back and back and back and back, and Definition of insanity.
It is an abusive relationship for sure with Razorback sports. I like
That's
the analogy of
family-friendly way to describe that girlfriend, Zach.
Yeah. Here's a more family friendly way to describe it. Lucy's holding the football and we're Charlie Brown, and damn it, one of these times she's gonna quit moving that ball.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
All right, Zach, we're gonna close this one out and let you guys take over for the rest of the beer fest. So just stay tuned. Zach and Matt are going to be back. You never know. I might drop in. The Beard might drop in. You never know what's going to happen here. Hey, appreciate everybody, the feedback, the viewers. Thank you all for jumping on this Allen Kerr Advisors fifth quarter show. Another tough loss, but we're done with Jerry World for a while. So gotta get over this quick because the big orange ugly machine comes knocking next week. And got to be ready for it.
Truck makes it here in one piece.
If the truck can make it through Little Rock, I think they'll make it here. So for Zach, Matt, and the Beard, I'm your boy MC. We'll see you later.
Hey, Hog fanatics. We at Inside the Hog Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share that SeatGeek is a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hog fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code INSIDEHOGPEN. Check out our socials for the link and remember to use the code INSIDEHOGPEN.
Yeah!